Hey folks, I'm Adam, and my journey into sim racing probably isn't what you'd expect. I didn't grow up dreaming of Formula One or collecting muscle car toys. My passion was always technology and gaming. Space sims, MechWarrior in particular. I dreamt of building the ultimate at-home simulator, something immersive and complex that would let me feel like I was really there. Then, when I was older than I'd like to admit, I discovered just how far sim racing technology had come. I bought some used gear on a whim and I was instantly hooked. It wasn't just the cars, it was the tech, the competition, the incredible online community, and the way the hobby bridges the gap to a real-world skill. It turned me into a fan for life. Now I'm channeling that passion into this video to help you get started. This is your complete beginner's guide to sim racing in 2026. We'll cover the gaming platforms, the gear you need and why you need it, starter sim rig builds for every budget, and we'll even touch on the beginner sim racing mindset. But before we dive in, let me explain my motivation here. I genuinely love helping people get into hobbies that I'm passionate about, and sim racing is absolutely one of those. That's the whole reason this video exists. If you find it helpful, the best way you can show that is by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and maybe sharing it with a friend who's been curious about sim racing. And the best part, all of that is completely free for you to do. Thank you for your support. I genuinely appreciate you and everyone who's been with me on this YouTube adventure. All right, let's get into it. The very first decision you have to make is your platform. Are you going to race on a PC or a console? This choice affects everything else, so let's break it down. To be crystal clear, PC is the undisputed king of sim racing. The main reason is the incredible freedom and flexibility it gives you. First, the game variety is massive. You get access to pretty much everything with the exception of one major sim racing title that we'll talk about later. But what you do get access to is simulations like iRacing, Le Mans Ultimate, Assetto Corsa, and countless others. The library is just enormous. Second, the hardware compatibility compared to consoles is on another level. Any wheel, any pedal from any brand will work on a PC. You can mix and match a Thrustmaster wheel with Fanatec pedals and a Moza handbrake without any issues. The main drawback? The cost. A powerful, ready-to-race PC can be a significant investment. And if you want to run triple monitors or VR down the line, you'll need to invest in a powerful graphics card to avoid sacrificing resolution, graphics quality, and frame rate. But if you already own a gaming PC, the decision is simple. Use your PC. It will definitely give you the best experience and the most room to grow. So what about consoles? This is where they shine as the accessible powerhouse. If you don't have a gaming PC, both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X offer a great sim racing experience, especially for beginners. The biggest pro is the simplicity. It's affordable-ish and it works right out of the box. You plug in a compatible wheel, launch a game like Assetto Corsa Competizione, one of the latest F1 titles, or EA WRC, and you're racing in minutes. The con is that you're in a walled garden. Your hardware choices are limited to what Sony and Microsoft officially support, and you can't access the mods available on PC. So, if you go the console route, which one is better, PlayStation or Xbox? This really comes down to one thing: Gran Turismo. The Gran Turismo series is a PlayStation exclusive, and it's one of the most popular and polished racing franchises on the planet. For that reason alone, if you're starting from scratch and decide to race on a console instead of a PC, the PlayStation has the edge. While the Forza Motorsport series on Xbox is also very good, the latest titles are now becoming available on PlayStation as well, which levels the playing field a bit. When it comes to hardware, Thrustmaster and Logitech offer separate compatible gear for each console. So to wrap up the platform debate, here's my official 2026 ranking. Number 1 is the PC. It's the best of the best if your budget allows for it. Number 2 is PlayStation, the top console choice thanks to the power of Gran Turismo. And number 3 is Xbox, a great option, especially if you already own one, but it comes in third mainly due to that exclusive PlayStation franchise with Gran Turismo. The most important advice I can give you is this: if you're on a tight budget, start with what you have. The best platform is the one that gets you into the driver's seat. Don't let the debate stop you from jumping in. Alright, you've chosen your gaming platform. Now for the fun part, the gear. This can feel a little overwhelming at first, but it really boils down to a few key components. Before we start, here is the single most important rule. If you are on PlayStation or Xbox, you must triple check that the gear you are about to purchase is compatible with your specific console. And let me get even clearer on this, just so you know. A lot of manufacturers that sell starter wheel and pedal sets make them specifically compatible for Xbox or PlayStation, but not both with the same device. So again, triple check compatibility before purchasing. Don't waste your money on something that won't work. Okay, PSA over. Let's break down the essentials. First up, the wheelbase. This is the motor that provides force feedback, and it's the single most important sim racing element for immersion. It's what lets you feel the car's grip, the bumps in the road, and when you're about to spin out. There are three main types of wheelbases. The first is good for beginners on a budget, gear-driven. This is your entry point, found on wheels like the Logitech 923. They use gears to amplify the motor's force. It's a reliable system that gives you a good feel for the road, but it can sometimes feel a bit notchy or clunky. It's a great starting point if you want to dip your toes into sim racing before fully diving in. The next best option for wheelbases is belt-driven models, found in popular bases like the Thrustmaster T300 RS. These use a belt system for a much smoother, quieter, and more detailed feel. You'll feel the subtle sensations of tire slip and weight transfer much more clearly. It's a step up in realism from the gear-driven. And finally, we have the best, direct drive. This is the top tier, the end game. With direct drive, or DD, there are no gears or belts. The steering wheel is connected directly to the motor shaft, usually via a brand-specific quick connect system. The feedback is instant, incredibly strong, and precise down to the smallest detail. Once you try direct drive, there is no going back. Now, when you're shopping for wheelbases, you'll see a specification called Newton meters, or big N, little m for short. This is just a measurement of torque, how much rotational force the motor can produce in the wheelbase. In sim racing, it's how hard the wheel can pull or push against your hands. Entry-level gear is usually in the 2 to 5 Newton meter range. It's just enough to feel the force feedback. Mid-range and entry-level direct drive is around 5 to 8 Newton meters. This is where things really start to feel dynamic. High-end direct drive typically go from 8 to 15 Newton meters, but some are even higher. Just remember, more Newton meters doesn't automatically mean better. The quality of the force feedback is what truly matters, so do some research before diving into a direct drive wheelbase. Next, let's talk about the steering wheel itself. You might be thinking, doesn't the wheel come with the wheelbase? Yes and no. Entry-level kits are usually all-in-one, but as you move up, you enter an ecosystem where the wheelbase and wheel are separate. This lets you collect different wheels for different types of racing. A round one for rally, a GT wheel for sports cars, or a formula-style wheel for open-wheelers. For a beginner, a bundle is the perfect way to start. Once you know whether you are into sim racing or not, you can start going into debt collecting some of the most awesome wheels in sim racing. Next, we have the pedals. Many argue that the pedals are the most important piece of hardware, even more important than the wheelbase, and these people are usually highly competitive sim racers. Most entry-level kits have pedals that come as a set with the wheel and wheelbase, but as you upgrade, pedal sets are often sold separately, while some high-end pedals are even sold by each pedal individually. You don't need a clutch to start, but if budget allows, it's great for immersion and car control. There are two types of sensors in sim racing pedals to be aware of. Pedals with potentiometer sensors measure the distance your foot travels. They work well for beginners, but for consistency, you'll want to look at pedals that use load cell sensors. A load cell sensor measures pressure, not distance. Your brain and muscles learn pressure much more intuitively, which allows you to be far more precise and consistent with your braking with load cell pedals. The drawback to load cell pedals is that they usually cost more than potentiometer sensor pedals. You can be fast with either, so stick to your budget. You can always upgrade later. The next piece of hardware is the rig, the foundation for all your gear. You can start with a simple desk mount, clamping the wheel to your desk and throwing your pedals on the floor. The downside simply is stability, and your office chair will probably roll around, so you'll want to swap it out for, I don't know, a lawn chair or a folding chair. An upgrade to the desk mount would be a wheel stand, which is more stable and foldable. Then you have tube frame cockpits, which are very rigid all-in-one solutions, but at the top is the aluminum profile rig. It's like industrial strength Legos for sim racers, offering ultimate rigidity and infinite adjustability. If you get a strong direct drive wheelbase, this is almost a requirement. And while this isn't exactly a beginner solution, you should be aware they exist if you find yourself upgrading down the line. Finally, the display. For console racers, your TV is a great way to race. For PC racers, you have options: a single gaming monitor, an ultra-wide monitor for a wider field of view, triple monitors for ultimate situational awareness and convenience, or VR for pure, unmatched immersion. Once you have the essentials, there's a whole universe of additions like shifters, handbrakes, dash displays, and button boxes to explore. It's a deep rabbit hole, but that's all part of the fun. As a beginner though, all you really need is a wheelbase, wheel, and pedals, your gaming platform, and some kind of display. Now that you understand the gear, let's build some example setups based on a budget. A quick disclaimer, these are subjective recommendations, and they assume you have a gaming platform to use. The goal is to get you racing without overspending. Let's start with the Just Get Racing budget, from about $180 to $400. This tier assumes you have a desk, a chair, and a display of some kind. The absolute cheapest way in is with a controller, and that's totally a valid way to start. But if you want a wheel, the Thrustmaster T128 is the most inexpensive combo from a reputable brand at around $180. It's a no-frills entry point that will tell you if you love this hobby or not. But if you can save up just $100 more and you're on PC or Xbox, I would strongly recommend the Moza R3 bundle for around $279. This gets you a direct drive wheelbase for under $300. When I started sim racing, direct drive for under $300 was absolutely not an option. If you want a bit more power, the Moza R5 bundle at $399 gives you a noticeable step up in feedback and strength. For PlayStation users in this range, your best bet are the Logitech G923 or Thrustmaster T248. Next, let's look at the more I'm committed range from $400 to $800. This is where you can build a setup that will last you for years. You could take that Moza R5 bundle and pair it with the Next Level Racing Wheel Stand 2.0. This gives you a stable, foldable rig that's a massive upgrade from a desk. Or, once you get above the $700 mark, I'd argue you should really invest in a dedicated 80/20 aluminum profile rig. It's a game changer. A solid rig is the foundation for everything else, and it's a prerequisite if you ever want to upgrade to serious load cell pedals down the line. From here, you get into stronger wheelbases, hydraulic pedals, motion rigs, all sorts of wild stuff. But that's far beyond the scope of the beginner's guide. If you're interested in jumping in now, driving cars for fun, maybe sim trucking, but not into the competitive side of sim racing, maybe you can skip this part of the video. The setups we've covered today will get you on the track, help you fall in love with the hobby, and give you plenty of room to grow. But if you're interested in competitive sim racing and you want to develop your skills, shave down your lap times, and develop your racecraft, then this part of the video is especially for you. Let this be a caveat to starting your sim racing journey. Sim racing, like any new skill, is very hard. It takes practice and dedication to improve. Unless you have real-life racing experiences, you're probably going to suck when you start. Set small goals. Don't chase lap times endlessly without competing in races. Focus on finishing races without wrecking. Race respectfully. Eventually you will get faster, but give yourself some grace and patience as you work towards improvement. There are plenty of resources to help you get faster on YouTube here. Check them out and make sure, despite the competitiveness, that you are having fun. That's what this hobby is really about. So that's it, your complete beginner's guide to sim racing in 2026. If you've made it this far and you're ready to pick out some games, I've got you covered. I have another video that gives a full overview of the sim racing titles available right now. Check it out. I'll link it in the description and up in the cards. Let me be clear here. This video was meant to give you solid recommendations to get started, but it's by no means gospel. This is just a snapshot of my opinions and preferences at this moment in time. There is so much more to dive into in the world of sim racing, but hopefully this was enough to get you on track in racing. If you have any tips for beginners that I might have missed, or if you disagree with any of my recommendations, let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you, and the sim racing community thrives on sharing knowledge. And if this video helped you out, please do all the YouTube stuff for me and maybe share it with a friend who might get into sim racing. It makes a huge difference and helps me keep creating content like this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have as much fun with sim racing as I do. That's it. That's a YouTube. That's how you YouTube.